Artificial intelligence is moving faster than governments, faster than regulation, and in some cases, faster than society can fully comprehend. How will AI reshape our jobs, our laws, and our lives? Is humanity still in control of the technology we've unleashed, or are we already playing catch-up? Earlier, I spoke to Noam Katz, PhD and author of Intelligent at Last? Here's his insight. Where does Israel stand right now on regulating AI? Are we leading, lagging, or still figuring out the basic framework?
Well, regulation on AI is actually a very common problem worldwide. It's not just Israel. Where the main issue is that it's a trade-off. You don't want to limit innovation, and you don't want AI to run amok. And the problem with regulation is that you have a problem with identifying the dangerous part of AI. So I don't think Israel stands in any unique place. Nobody really wants to limit innovation, so we don't really know how to monitor AI in such a way. And when we look at other fields where regulation worked really well, AI is actually very, very challenging because it's hard to identify what you're looking for with regulation. So we need to identify a new way, to develop a new way to regulate, and then everyone, not just Israel, can really join in to limit AI into doing any sort of harm.
Right. So what are like the ethical red lines to be drawn right now? Because we feel like, okay, they're getting ahead of us. Maybe it gets out of control, AI. So what can we do like to ethically stop it?
But very recently, there was a red line being crossed in the US where a lawsuit was won by creators who wrote books that were used into training AI, and they won these lawsuits for $2.something billion that had to be paid for those creators. This is a very good line in the sand where, okay, you can't just use anyone's knowledge and everyone's creation. And so we need to build a better way to communicate between human creators and AI in order to build new models. You can't just take it off. And I think if we are comparing other technologies that in the beginning had some trouble. Flight is a good example of that. It took some time till it became completely safe. I don't think AI is any different than that. We should keep the companies who create models, their interest being aligned with keeping users safe. We've seen some cases where that was not the case, unfortunately. But I think in the end, we will get there.
Right. So when we look at jobs, I think for our viewers at home, this is very important. Where do you see us from now for jobs in particular? Like what jobs are going to replace us? What should we do differently maybe in the future? Where do you see this heading?
I think all jobs are going to feel AI. It will change the job market through and through, regardless of what you're doing. The main big difference that AI can make is that it might not be exactly like any other technologies that we've seen before. You know, in the end of the 19th century, there was a riot in London by the street lights candle lighters. They were rioting the popularization of the light bulb. It replaces their job. And the same was true for the sewing machine that was first being generated in the 15th century, where it was invented in the UK, but was rejected by Elizabeth III and was popularized in Paris because the monarch was afraid of the people's reactions for losing their job. And so AI is not necessarily different than that, or at least it's too early to tell if AI will be any different than any other technology that changed completely the job market. I think that everybody understands right now that people are not going to be replaced currently by AI, but people will be replaced by people who use AI. So it's quite important to understand how AI works, how we can use it and utilize it, and to make the job performance better.